10 o'clock in the Phoenix Park on Sunday, with the heavy frost on the ground and the sun breaking through the morning mist as the competitors get ready for the final race in the Guinness series of 6 races for our top amateur cyclists. This is Cyclo-cross, a branch of the sport that is regarded by the uninitiated as a Cinderella aspect of competitive cycling in this country. But just what is cyclo-cross? It is, as its name implies, cycling across country, generally the roughest of country. What does it entail? Here's Joe Barr, last year's national champion in the sport and a time trial gold medalist in the recent British Commonwealth Games.
Well, cyclo-cross is entirely different to road racing or any other form of sport, where it's a combination of cycling and cross-country running, where the rider has to get off the bike and carry it and then get back on and continue on. There's a lot of obstacles, hills, rivers and things that can segue like, so there's a lot of running involved in it as well as bike riding. Today's course is very much like last year's national championship course. There's a lot of steep banks on it, a lot of long grass, and this morning it's very, very frosty and hard, and the ground's very, very slippy, so there could be a lot of spills and that sort of thing.
Well, the bike, it has to be a much sturdier construction so as to absorb the shock of the ground and the grass as you go over it. The gear levers, for example, are on the handlebars so that you don't have to take the hands off the handlebars when changing gear. The brakes are cantilever brakes so that they don't obstrude muck that gets caught in the tires. The tires themselves are knobbly tires so that you get traction through mud and going up the slopes. And you have very low gears so that you can in fact cycle up the hills and across the grass.
I rode the Cyclo-cross the championship last year, all right, with another girl, but unfortunately there aren't very many of us here today. But next year, or next week actually, there's another Cyclo-cross on after Christmas, Stevens's Day, so hopefully there'll be a few more girls out at that. The gang of us will take them all on.
Brave girl, Ethne, but she's not to the front as the 31 riders get away in the mad scramble to the first obstacle. John Sheehan gets to the front immediately, and Joe Barr ideally placed in second place. A slight stumble there, but Barr doesn't lose too much ground. Still in the first of the 1.1 mile circuits, and already a 4-man group is setting the pace at the head of the field. Barr, winner of the event last year, leads up this short steep climb. Julian Dalby, Raphael Kimmage and John Sheen, the other 3 leaders. This is a tough, demanding sport. Climbing up the hill on its own is quite difficult in the icy conditions. But pushing a bike makes it a back-breaking exercise, and it'll be interesting to see how the outcome of this particular battle between 2 of our most experienced roadmen and 2 up-and-coming riders takes shape. Behind them, the field are finding it really tough going, struggling up the incline now as Barr leads the leading group onto the second lap. This is perhaps the most demanding stretch of the whole course. A steep climb more than 100 yards long. By now Sheehan has been dropped from the leading group. His chances went when his chain came off. But Barr is still in front, followed by Julian Dalby. Raphael Kimmage there a close third. One rider there taking a slight tumble on the slippery conditions, but this doesn't disturb the concentration of young Davy Patterson going through there. He's only 16 and won an event in Bangor yesterday, and is probably expecting too much for the youngster to have the strength to shine in such 2 energy-demanding events inside 24 hours. Into the fourth lap now, but Barr still holding on to first place, but is unable to shake off the tenacious Dalby. Rayfield Kimmage there struggling now and moving back, and 2 leaders now drawing clear. Pictures there, but behind the colour and the spectacle, the riders are suffering and there's a grim struggle going on. At the head of the field, we have a significant change in order now, with Julian Dalby taking the lead and drawing clear of Joe Barr now in second place. Barr had been in the lead for more than 28 minutes and he was hot favourite to win this event. But he sticks to the task, knowing that in cyclocross anything can happen and he'll not give up easy. Rayfield Kimmage too battles on, but he's carrying his bike earlier than usual. It's quite a struggle now, and despite his best efforts, the gap is opening. Behind him, his brother Kevin seems to have got the better of his battle with young Patterson for 4th place.
Julian, the near side of the hill, the near side. Come on, Julian.
Dalby pushing that bike up the incline as one of our top up-and-coming riders. First came to the fore in the Junior Tour of Ireland 2 years ago and has progressed steadily into the ranks of the national squad since. Behind Barr is still lapping other competitors in a bid to get back into contention. But we make that gap more than 30 seconds now, and with the race entering the closing stages, he's got to move quickly. Now Rayfield Kimmage gone through in 3rd place and obviously struggling up the incline. Into the 9th lap now, and Dalby continues to set a cracking pace, just passing the veteran Joe Smith there as he rides up the hill, with most of the others now find quite an obstacle. Barr 2 riding up the incline. The top 2 are now leaving the others well in arrears, but that gap is more than a minute. Nothing can stop Dalby now, barring mechanical trouble or a fall, but he must continue to be careful on the slippy descents.
16-11. So Julian Dalby down the hill, and Julian now coming along.
As he tackles this hill now, a quick dismount, running up the hill, lapping one of the other competitors. Barr also must be careful on the descents. This is one of the facets of cyclocross. Fitness is vital, but bike handling too is very important. Rayfield Kimmage is just over a half a minute behind Barr, with his brother Kevin a further half a minute behind. Rayfield can only hope now that the two in front will run into some problem and that he himself can avoid any trouble in these closing stages.
Julian Dalby going through, and Julian cuts that corner nicely. Now Julian, although he's tending to push the bike now up this time, give Julian encouragement as he goes through in approximately 6 minutes.
Meanwhile, Dalby seems to be sailing on, regarded as one of the rising stars of cycling in this country. He hasn't been in the slightest trouble today. We saw him trailing Barr early on, but he seemed to have been biding his time. And once he decided to go, he quickly opened the gap, and he's been riding the uphill stretches better than Barr as he takes the bell well in control.